All right, let's kick off the new year. And yes, the markets wasted absolutely no time getting interesting. Hey everyone, it's Saturday morning, January 3rd, and welcome back to Capital Markets Quickie. I'm your host, Endrit Sella, here to break down yesterday's market action in just 2 minutes. Quick note before we dive in. Today's episode is brought to you by AMF Capital Asset Management Frankfurt. Learn more about our funds and strategies at amf-capital.de. All right, let's get started. So, U.S. stocks finished mostly higher yesterday as trading reopened after 3 straight years of double-digit gains. The Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed roughly 0.6%, while the Standard & Poor's 500 added about 0.2%. Tech, however, was a bit more mixed. The Nasdaq Composite slipped slightly below flat, even though some big semiconductor names managed to move higher. One notable loser, though, was Tesla. Shares dropped after the company reported vehicle deliveries that came in below expectations. Looking back, markets were coming off a pretty bumpy end to a wild 2025. But despite all the ups and downs, the year still ended strong. The Standard & Poor's 500 finished up more than 16% for the year, while the Nasdaq Composite led the way with gains of over 20%. Now, attention is clearly shifting to 2026. Real trading momentum is expected to pick up next week. But optimism is already in the air. Every major Wall Street forecast tracked by Bloomberg expects stocks to rise for a 4th straight year. That said, risks are still out there. The artificial intelligence boom could cool off, the U.S. economy could surprise in either direction, and President Trump remains a major wildcard, especially with potential tariff decisions becoming clearer this month. Over in commodities, gold and silver moved higher yesterday, building on their strongest annual performances since 1979. Aluminum also grabbed headlines, pushing above $3,000 per ton for the first time since 2022. Looking ahead, the Federal Reserve remains front and center. Divisions inside the central bank that defined much of last year are still unresolved. President Trump is expected to name a new Fed chair this month, and while traders mostly expect interest rates to stay unchanged later this month, expectations for the March meeting are far less certain. All right, that wraps up today's Capital Markets Quickie. Join me again Monday morning for more market updates. See you then.